just don't get it on that white shirt.
Oh, I've thrown them away.
Every time I leave one on the gas line, and then I grab it, open it.
Yep. Hoping that for some reason, it didn't buzz, but here. All right, good morning. Today is the 10th day of November, 2025. It is 9 a.m. This is a regular meeting in the Marion County Commissioners Court. This meeting was posted with the county clerk, Ms. Kimberly Wise, at 8:48 a.m. on the 4th day of November, 2025. Today present is myself, County Judge Lisa LaFleur, Commissioner Precinct 1, Mr. J.R. Ashley, Commissioner Precinct 2, Mr. Jacob Patterson, Commissioner Precinct 3, Mr. Paul D. Webb, and Commissioner Precinct number 4, Mr. Jared R. Lee. We will begin with the prayer and followed by the pledge to the American and Texas flag. And I will say the prayer this morning. Father, we come before you today and ask for your continued blessings upon the people of this beloved county. I ask that you enter the hearts and minds of each member of this Commissioner's Court so that we make the most wise decisions for the county of Marion. I ask that you be with a certain person this morning who is unnamed. We ask for prayers for that person, for healing, for comfort, for calmness. We ask all of these things in your holy, precious, most sacred name. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Honor the
Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
All right, start with item number 1 on the agenda, which is the consent agenda.
In the monthly reports, treasurer August through September of 2025, treasurer the third quarter of 2025, county clerk October of 2025, sheriff October of 2025, deputy precinct number 2 October of 2025. Those are the monthly reports.
Make a motion to approve the consent agenda. Rick. Second.
Motion by Lee, second by Webb. All in favor? Any opposed? Quick update, surgery just finished and it was perfect. They're gonna start waking that person up now.
Oh, good.
Item number 2, consider for approval payroll from October 1st to 15th, 2025, and October 16th to 31st, 2025.
On 10/15/2025, was payroll transfer of $99,925.89 for net pay. Federal tax deposit was $28,665.47. That was our payroll taxes. On 10/31/2025, the payroll transfer was $96,509.65 for net pay. Federal tax deposit was $27,531.98 for our payroll taxes. On 11/15, TCDRS, which is our October 2025 retirement, payment was made $48,160.57. And then on 10/27/2025, to Texas Workforce Commissions, it was our third quarter unemployment tax payment of $388.12. And then our third quarter civil fees were paid to the state comptroller on 10/31/2025. It was $3,006.60, and that was our third quarter civil fees. And then $20,461.23, that was our third quarter criminal fees. And then the last one was $288.92, and that was our third quarter specialty court fees.
Make a motion to approve payroll from October 1st through 15th, 2025, and October 16th through 31st, 2025.
Second.
Go. Motion made by Patterson, and I call second by Lee. Come on in, sir.
I'm coming. This is your meeting, right?
Come in, have a seat. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 3, consider for approval Texas District Court Alliance Certificate of Completion for continuing education hours as prescribed in Section 5.1.605 Texas Government Code for Susan Anderson, Marion County District Clerk. Not really. Gentlemen, we don't have to take any action on that, it's just a record. No action taken on item number 3, unless you need one, which I don't think needs any record vote on that. Item number 4, tax assessor collector presenting the 2025 certified tax roll.
I'm not sure.
We've got one.
Oh, good. Good. I apologize for the delay in getting this to you guys. Typically, I do it on the first meeting in October, but I kind of was indisposed the whole month, practically. Basically, I do this before the tax bills hit the mailboxes so that, you know what your levy is at the beginning of 2025 collections, which is October 1st. Marion County, levy is $4,498,770.89. And lateral road is $848,715.74. And as you know, tax bills did hit the mail about the 6th of October.
Oh, yes, we all know.
I did get those out on time. Thank goodness I had just proved them before I got sick. So, collections are steady. We've already paid y'all quite a bit already. And, I look for them to continue to be high. Any questions?
And I don't think there's any action to take on that.
No.
Shannon needs a copy, do you have one?
Karen, unrelated, and I don't want any discussion about this, how did your elections go?
Oh, it went good.
Good.
It went good. It was pretty uneventful. Low turnout. I'd like to see higher turnout
Sure.
for amendments.
You didn't have any issues internally?
No,
Machines, personnel, all
No.
went well? Good.
other than me.
That speaks a lot for the ladies in your office to be able to handle
Oh, I
that.
have to give my girls credit, full credit, because they pulled it off.
Absolutely.
It worked well.
Thank you. Item number 5, consider for approval cancellation of Synergistic Software Integrated I3 SSI contract, notice of 60 days. I believe that is the sheriff's, software. We're gonna go ahead and cancel the current contract he has and move to a different company. Had a lot of issues, Cass County's had a lot of issues, other counties have had a lot of issues, I think. This company looked really good on paper, and when they rolled out the system, it wasn't as well thought out as they would have liked. So it's my recommendation, also the sheriff's recommendation, that that contract be canceled.
Motion to approve the cancellation of Synergistic Software Integrated, I3, the SSI contract notice of 60 days.
Motion by Ashley, second by Patterson, all in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. We'll move to item number 6. Remember, it's always good to say as presented by the county judge. Item number 6, consider for approval per local government code 263.151-152, declaring the following items as salvage to be disposed by donation to civic organizations: Rotary Club Electronic Recycling, A, Dell Service Optiplex 390 JQRC XR1, B, Dell Optiplex 6JNFTL1, C, Dell Optiplex 7010 GXC09842, D, HP Project Scan Jet Pro 3000 S $, I'm sure it's SS, CNA 4KA8051, E, True Flat RCA TV G405E5800, F, RCA VCR Performance Series 227311654, and that is an attribute to the office holders of Marion County to notice that your office holders use your tax dollars in the most proficient way possible, because we are probably the last governmental entity in the entire world that had a VCR. Item number G, Philips DVD player model DVD R3-455A/37NW000 SAC 633023728. Here we go. Here's another one. H, Panasonic VHS F52C00834 model AG1970, which I'm sure that's the year that this was produced. I, HP LaserJet Pro 400 color M451DN CNDF383163. J, HP LaserJet Pro M428FDN CND RP3 CRX. K, Fujitsu Scanner, I hope I said that properly, FI-613OZ serial number 476086. L, Dell Monitor CN-07RK3-7445-37A-A41S. M, Dell Monitor CN0J6428-71618-5CN-AEL. N, Dell Monitor 3CQ9393LS5. O, HP Pavilion P621 PC 3CR9410 GD6. P, Dell Optiplex 7010 CN 0CF5W6 47890. Q, Dell Optiplex 7010 CN 056 DXG 72435. What?
Make a motion to approve, the approval of per LGC 263.151-152, declare the following items as salvage to be disposed by donation to civic organization, Rotary Club Electronics Recycling, as presented by the county judge.
Second.
Motion made by Lee, second by Ashley, all in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Item number 7, consider for approval quote from DC Company Incorporated to update airport traffic to LED at a cost of $55,968.20, included a 4-year warranty. The floor is yours, sir.
Okay, thanks for bringing this back up again and voting on it, and adjusting to where we can get this going as soon as possible. Like I told y'all before, it's a piece of equipment that we need to get replaced, and now's the time to do it since we have to pay 10% with the ramp grant. The ramps grant is 90/10 still right now, so we're in good shape to do that. And this is a perfect time to do it. Hopefully it'll only take him, I think, 2 to 4 weeks, and they should be out here from what I understand. That's what I'm hearing. Also, I just got, I think it was Wednesday morning, I got a great phone call from the FAA. This is gonna tie into the approach that we've been trying to get. I don't know, what, 2-3 years?
At least 3.
Yeah. I finally got a phone call out of the blue last Wednesday, and it was actually from the FAA, and they actually have our request for approach. And I asked him why it's taking so long, because he said, well, I imagine y'all just filed for it. And I said, no, this was done over a year ago, in March of last year, and he doesn't have any explanation as to why it's taking so long to get to his desk. But the fellow that I talked to, he's the actual person that's actually going to design it for the approach.
Good.
And it'll be a better approach than what I thought we were going to get, because we had that survey done. If you remember, we had a survey done last year. They're going to be able to give us a little bit of a glide path down to make the minimums a little bit lower. We are going to have, I'm still waiting to get the information on what other trees that we're going to have to clear out. I don't think there's a whole bunch of it. it's still gonna be at least another year with the slowdown that we've had with the government. It's just gonna have a domino effect still.
Sure.
But it gives us time to do a couple other things that we need to do, and that is clear out a few more trees that we need to take care of. We also, because I don't wanna get real technical about it, but basically, the runway numbers need to change. Right now, it's 5 and 2.6. That's gonna have to change to 6 and 2.4. And it has to do with magnetic north and all kinds of crazy crap that you don't want me to get into.
No, we don't.
Mainly because I've forgotten, I learned that 25, 30 years ago, but I don't want to go back to. Anyway, so it's gonna change, every airport changes about every 10 to 15 years. That's gonna tie into the approach. When we do the approach, they have to change the markings on the runway to tie into, they put like 1,000-foot marker down, so you know where to land. This PAPI is gonna tie into that approach also. That will really help us, have the minimums that we need to get other airplanes in here when the weather's bad. So all that is working just fine. This is coming together great. If y'all can approve that would be super. Everything else at the airport, real quick, the grass is coming along just fine. I think they're actually gonna make some hay this next spring, from what I understand. We did some repairs on the FBO building, last spring, and, it looks good. I still plan on having y'all out there. It's just been kind of crazy. But with Mike's schedule and my schedule, so we're gonna try and still have y'all come out there and see exactly what goes on and stuff, so.
Great.
Anyway, unless y'all have some other questions, I'll try to answer all that stuff for you.
All right, Jim.
Okay.
Motion to approve the quote from BC Company Incorporated to update the airport's package to LED at a cost of $55,968.20. Included is a 4-year warranty.
Motion by Ashley, second by Lee, all in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. Again, gentlemen, this has to do with Ramps grant, so $55,968.20. We will only be responsible for 10%.
10%. It's a great deal.
Indeed.
Thank you very much,
Thank
everybody.
Item number 8, consider for approval, special budget for precinct 2 auction sale per local government code 111.01808, accepting certificate of auditor for receipts of funds $14,168.75.
This is mine, this is some old equipment I need to get rid of and turn back into money. That's what we did. So I'll make a motion to approve special budget for precinct 2 auction sale per local government code 111.01808, accepting certificate of auditor for receipt of funds $14,168.75.
Second.
Motion by Patterson, second by Ashley, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 9, consider approval special budget for precinct 1 insurance proceeds of $7,754.62 for tractor repair per local code 111.01808, accepting certificate of auditor for receipt of funds.
Yes, this is where our John Deere tractor connected to the Tiger hydraulic pump in the front. The U-joint came loose, and that drive light in there actually went crazy and bent the crank on the engine. So I'd like to make a motion to approve that special budget for precinct 1 insurance proceeds of $7,754.62 for tractor repair for local government code 111.01808, accepting the certificate of auditor for receipt of the funds.
Motion made by Ashley, second by, who made that second? Well, all in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries.
Judge, we need to pass on number 10.
Okay. Need a motion to table item number 10.
Make a motion on the table, item number 10.
Second.
Motion to table by Lee, second by Ashley, all in favor? Any opposed? Item number 10 is tabled. consider for approval, auditor advertise for fuel bids for calendar year 2026, setting time and date of opening 9 a.m. Monday, December the 8th. As you gentlemen very well know, the company that bid and we received fuel from, one day ghosted us and shut their doors without any notice, warning, or anything. So we're gonna rebid this out. I think we've got something in place for you guys to get fuel in the meantime. I would assume we would all be sitting in my office looking at email. So I need a motion to consider for the auditor to advertise for fuel bids.
Make a motion, for the approval of the auditor to advertise for fuel bids for calendar year 2026, setting time and date of opening is 9 a.m. Monday, December the 8th, 2025.
Second.
Motion by Lee, second by Patterson, all in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 12, a workshop to discuss pathway power tax abatement process. Board's yours.
Thanks for having us back. Once again, my name's Carly Keith. Good to see you all so soon after last time. Appreciate it. So we're sorry, I forgot to pull punch. I apologize. My apologies.
We're gonna get them out of order anyway.
Okay, good. Choose one? Please. Thank you.
You have an extra?
Yes. Oh, you're gonna handle it. Perfect. Well, I'll actually let Tom kind of take it away since today's a little bit of a deeper dive on the tax side, but of course I'm here to help jump in, answer any questions.
Take it away, Tom.
Sure. Thank you again for having us back. Good to see you all again. I just kind of run through just to reset so that we kind of know where we are on the sizing, what the project is. It's Green Ridge Energy, and it'll be a solar and battery storage system, approximately 150 megawatts of solar and 150 megawatts of battery. Currently, land's estimated to include the 1,700 acres. We still have a few pieces of land that are out there that we're working on. We hope to be done here by the end of the month, next month. And again, looking at where that puts us, if we get to financial investment date, decision date, and move forward, we'd like to begin construction here in about a year for 2026. And again, just reiterating, we have a minimum investment of $200 million. It's probably going to be significantly higher than that, based on the current budgets that we're looking at. And this project's duration, just to set that stage, the duration of this project initially is set out to be 35 to 40 years. So what that basically means is we're making a decision here on day one for a 40-year financial model. Just to reiterate, last time we talked about the different ways that we can work with the county with regard to the property taxes, Chapter 312 versus Chapter 381. If you guys are already, I'm gonna skip over that. I don't want to bore you with restating it unless you have any questions on that page at this time. And I think this is the part that we wanted to expand upon our last conversation about, what are the local benefits, to Marion County, and I'm viewing this under a 312. And so what we basically put together here is a 40-year look at what those values and their revenue receipts that they generate would be, and also, put in the proposed pilot that we presented last time. But long story short, it takes the property itself. I've included the land calculation in here, so you can see the underlying land value revenue of taxes goes up on that from what it is currently today. And basically, at the end of the day, over 40 years life of the project to the county alone, the project will inject, even with the pilot, about $16.2 million through those tax levies. And what I've done on the next page is show you the additional taxing entities that would benefit from this project. And that's the road and bridge, the hospital, as well as the 2 ISDs where we think the split's going to be there. These taxes are full levy. There's no abatements on any of these taxes, or no pilot on any of these taxes. So it produces, for example, road and bridge about 3.7 million, the hospital about 2.1, and then the 2 ISDs between them will be almost $50 million. Majority of it right now, we think is gonna be in Jefferson, but it will be significant dollars to both of those ISDs. I believe through this, I just wanna make sure there aren't any
You guys
questions.
got any questions so far?
Okay. Again, what I wanted to show on the next page is the differences between the two agreements. The main difference being, and this is where it, kind of delineates the two of them. Under a pilot, the project itself will be writing a pilot check every year to the county. Under the, well, yeah, I know, we'll talk about that. That's coming too. I listened to you last time.
We've got another printout, don't worry, it's coming.
Have a supplemental page. Where the 381 shows you, you get to the same answer, but the 381 is the county, requires the county to budget and rebate those taxes. So a little bit different transactions. Last page here before the supplemental page, we'll do that back in a second. This just goes through the process again. If we pursue the 312, the first step will be to adopt guidelines and criteria for the county. That's a requirement by state law and statute. Then again, we'll move forward. Now, I will tell you that steps 2, 3, and 4, just to put more clarity to this, they can actually be done at the same time. It's just a matter of public notice. So as long as we have 37 days of public notice, you can actually combine steps 2, 3, and 4, and you can actually approve. It doesn't make you come back and approve a land zone, which really doesn't mean anything other than approving a land zone, and then have to wait 30 days and approve the contract. So you can actually just do it in full, one fell swoop. And then, so I think this is probably the page that we'll be most interested to discuss.
Okay, now you're not gonna, it's not gonna be exactly what you want, but let's talk about it.
This is on the last, we got it.
So this one just
It
gives,
might be in some of them, yeah.
yeah, this one just gives basically, the quick math, everyone can kind of do the math on their own too, but the quick math around if we were to expedite the payment into a 3-year or a 5-year. I know Judge LaFleur mentioned all at once while I'm here, which we can talk about. Financially, we would prefer to do just a little bit of a spread out. However, if the county, deems that it really helps you all at, year 1 to do all at once, then, we're willing to chat through that. But on our side, we prefer a 3 or 5 or a 10, but it's not a no on the 1 year. So we just wanted to kind of map that out, but the dollars would all be the same. We just obviously, move it to years 1 through 3 or 1 through 5. And then nothing would change on, obviously, the land payment, and then nothing changes with the ISDs or the road and bridge or the hospital.
They would be payments as normal.
Yeah.
Course of business.
So this is showing, just the 5-year payment
Mm-hmm.
of the $220 a
Yeah.
year for the first 5 years, and then nothing for 6 through 10.
That's right.
But then the 344.
Is the
that's-
same for years 11 through 40.
Okay, so it would be $220 a year, but the first 5 years.
Yep,
Okay, and then 6 through 10 is nothing,
0, yeah.
and then 11 through 40
Yep.
is $220.
No, it's the
That's
344
$344 a
Yeah.
year, and that's total.
total, yeah, so the grand total is about 10 million over the course of the life of the project.
But that's total tax, including ISD.
No,
that's
that's
just-
This is just our,
Just
general fund payment.
Yes,
Yeah.
just the general fund, yeah. Yeah, and as a reminder with the pilot, it gives you, and you can speak a little bit more to it, but it gives you, gives them more flexibility to keep everything here, right?
Correct.
Yeah,
The
like-
pilot is a direct, it doesn't go, so when you get normal, and again, I'm not gonna pretend to know all the ratios in the county, because that's a very difficult thing to figure out. But long story short, when you receive an overly increase in your, above your base tax on your payroll rolls, part of that money sometimes doesn't always still sit in the county, or it's restricted for certain reasons, because the state's ratio calculation comes in. When you do a pilot agreement, it's not on the rolls. So the pilot payment comes directly to the county's general fund and then becomes part of your.
Layman's terms, if you do the pilot program, it shields the state from reaching in and grabbing it.
There, thank you.
However, with the 5 and 3, I think there's still negotiating room on the table
Mhm.
for us to say, well, not only do we want our general fund at 5 or 3, we also want our road and bridge fund at 5 or 3, so that they can pay you guys what's owed to you up front as well as the general fund. So that would give you guys a pretty good shot in the arm on roads for 3 to 5 years. I'm gonna keep figuring things out that you guys probably won't enjoy. If you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'd rather you guys get, $700,000 a year, or a $700,000 kick once a year, or 3 times a year, whatever the numbers may be. So let me ask you guys a question. Sure. Because, for John Q. Public.
Certainly.
What is the benefits of us abating your taxes? Layman's terms.
Sure.
Layman's terms.
It helps, it brings us closer to being able to say, go on the project, because we have a competitive financial project that we are trying to get over the finish line. That's number one.
So it's for an economical development in Marion County. For us to say, okay, you're gonna come here and you're gonna build this, and this is what we're gonna do because you're building this. This is not necessarily a reward, but it's a incentive.
Absolutely right. Absolutely, and it takes a piece of property today that is not generating, it's a piece of properties that are generating ag revenue, which is very
Slim to none.
slim to none property tax. And it makes a property into commercial property that will generate large incremental taxes revenue for the county over the life of the project.
So in layman's terms, we're incentivizing. We want you to come to Marion County. We want you to do this project so that the taxpayers, on behalf of the taxpayers, the county would be involved to say, okay, we're gonna abate your taxes for the next 40 years. We're gonna know how much money you're paying us for the next 40 years. And in return, you're bringing a $200+ million investment into Marion County.
Yes.
The disadvantage to that.
I'd like to say there isn't any because
Well, it's always a
it's economic development. The disadvantage to it is that, well, I mean, I don't know, I'm an economic developer, so I'm always looking at the positives on, development and expanding tax base for the county and expanding revenue options for the county. I don't really know, I can't really say honestly that there is a disadvantage here other than, it's going to be developing property. So if there is a disadvantage to that, then that's what it would be.
Let me ask you a different way. So if, let's say the Commissioner's Court says, nope, we're not gonna abate your taxes, what's your next step?
Right, yeah, so I think that is the disadvantage, if there's no pilot program or there's no 381, rebate program, one of the two, then it would make us a lot more financially risked. The project would be a higher risk for us and may not pencil out, right? So this ensures our ability to get our financial backing, to then go to construction, to then allow us to build this project and invest $200 million plus in your county over 40 years. So.
I was gonna say, the reasons for that, where this differs from a typical, whether it's a manufacturing project or a warehouse project, those projects have a financial model that is 1 to 5 years max of, decision of whether they can move forward or not, of whether it's gonna be viable. This project has to make a 40-year commitment on day one and has to expend nearly all of its investment on day one. So the long story short, the property tax number really matters because it hits that model every step of the way.
Option A, abate the property taxes. Company moves in. We've got extra revenue that we did not have yesterday for 40+ years. Option B, we don't abate the property. Company goes back, realigns, determines whether or not they're even gonna invest the money in the county.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
AB.
That's
Yeah.
absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes,
Concerning the landowner, how will this affect their taxes? Will they receive enough from you, or are you buying the land, or is it part of your lease?
Yeah, so all but one parcel is being purchased.
And so we'll be the owner of the land, so we're gonna pay all the taxes because we're gonna own all of it. The one that we're leasing, we are paying any taxes that have been increased due to the change of use of land.
So it will not be a burden.
No, and they also are obviously getting, this one landowner is gonna be getting payments from us annually for leasing that land from them and their family. So, so it's actually helping them economically as well. And then obviously the purchase, parcels, they're gonna get a large payment from us for purchasing the land too.
So you really cannot move forward till we make a decision.
Yeah, that's correct. So that's why we're here about a year before construction, so that we can know from a financing and risk perspective where we stand. So,
Are you saying there's only one person left for the land stuff that y'all are dealing with? To try
There's-
to get that straightened out?
there's actually 3 right now. So we have 2 main anchor landowners who have been here previously with us when we introduced the project. And then we basically are doing some expansion land just to make sure that we have enough, with basically we're, really starting to dive into all those field surveys, geotechnical, additional wetland, and just making sure the connectivity down to the substation, with all the roads and access, that we have enough room to do that. And so we're just getting expansion land just to ensure that we don't run into any issues on being able to build at this scale, at the 150 megawatts. So we feel pretty confident with what our anchor land is. We're just making sure, we're just covering our bases just to be sure that we don't run into any geotechnical concerns and have
Y'all
more
got a lot
constraints.
invested in land if this don't go through.
Well, thankfully, the good thing about the way that these deals are, I won't go into specifics, but we have kind of what I like to call a long escrow period. So we pay them a nominal amount while we develop the project. So we haven't actually optioned the land yet. We become the owners once we get past this hurdle and once we actually go to construction. So right now, those landowners still own their land, and then we'll option it once we know that the project's been de-risked and we can actually break ground.
I had a phone call from a concerned constituent, I guess it was last Thursday, who's the third individual who you're trying to purchase property from.
Okay.
What happens if, and I want you to make a commitment, this is a court of record,
Yes.
if you guys get into this project and say, all right, our investment money is dried up and we've got 100 batteries on the ground,
Mm-hmm.
and we have 100 solar panels on the ground, we're pulling out.
Yep.
What happens to that equipment?
Yeah, so thankfully in the state of Texas, there's actually a law for decommissioning. So we have to have a financial bond, so there's always, so that basically we're committing from day one that there's enough money to take that off the land and to make sure it's not rotting there and just becoming a rust, graveyard. So thankfully, the state of Texas covers y'all. Plus, as a company, we've just always had decommissioning as just part of our best practice. So we have a decommissioning plan, so from literally the construction to take it off, as well as a financial bond. The other great thing is, like, on the leased property, as part of the agreement, it has to be returned to the landowner in the same basic state as it is today.
Like reclamation?
Yes.
Lignite.
Exactly. So, like, if that landowner would like to do timbering operations again, then we can return the land to that person and they can do that again. So.
Okay, so step one on that is the state of Texas has a plan in place that obligates you,
Yes.
so that I don't have to have 4 very angry commissioners on a private piece of property trying to clean this stuff.
No.
Second, you were bonded, insured, regulated, ready to go in the event this project just doesn't work out for you guys, that y'all remove
Yeah.
everything that you brought in.
Yeah. Like if the technology changes or whatever the scenario is, yeah, it's all there. So that's
That answers my question. You guys got any other questions at this point?
Not at this point.
okay.
Okay, so what my advice to the Commissioners Court is that the next time that we do this workshop, which we're getting at the end of the year, you guys got pretty good timing. You guys, we're not in a big rush to do this.
We'd like to have this solidified by January, early February, just because we need to start our, kind of last push on that. So we don't want to wait too long, but we also know that there's the holidays and other things. So.
There's no holidays in county government.
Okay, good. I like hearing that.
I mean,
Okay,
there's people that are off, but it's not.
Okay.
So what I recommend to the Commissioners Court, the next step would be is for us to get the county attorney involved and for us to discuss this in executive session so that we can iron out any differences that we have, because we don't do those outside the purview of that. And then just come up with a game plan, see where we go, for lack of better words.
Yeah, we can set, y'all can set those guidelines, and then we can come back like the next step set for the.
And let us know if there's anything that we can continue to provide.
I think you provided everything, with the exception of, I'm not gonna ask these guys to make a decision on this because it's not written that way on the agenda, but I would like to see the 3 and 5 year road and bridge tax upfront payment.
Okay.
If that's possible.
Yeah.
I would, actually wanted to ask you this question. We kept the road and bridge because the levy is separated. We've kept those separately, but I guess what I'm hearing from you is that when you collect county taxes, that's part of the one, is it one lump sum that comes in? It's not.
Well, it's differentiated. So when somebody walks in and they pay their taxes, they're paying a road and bridge tax, they're paying a general fund tax, they're paying a school district and no tax, which school district doesn't matter because they can't pay their taxes. They're paying hospital district tax, it's itemized on their tax bill.
Got it, okay.
Okay,
So
so we can-
it's a, let's say it's $2,000 tax bill. Below that 2,000, it's broken up where they can see exactly where each dollar is going.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yep.
Yep.
So
However-
we can update that for you.
However, and I'll say this, we want to see it, but if the pilot program is only abating the general fund taxes and it doesn't touch the road and bridge tax in
Yeah.
any abatement, I want to see that too.
Okay.
I want to see how much those taxes are going to go up every year versus you paying the road and bridge tax 3 and 5 different
Great.
years.
Yes,
Does that make sense?
Yes, absolutely. So you have in front of you with no abatement on road and bridge. So we chose as a company and as like a, to be a good partner and be a good neighbor to not include the road and bridge currently, page 5. The local benefits, other taxing entities page. So we chose to not include it as part of the abatement and the pilot. But we can include that.
I'd like to see it.
Yes.
I'd just
Okay.
like to see it.
Yeah,
Can you
okay.
just email that to me?
Sure.
Yeah, we can, I don't think you'll need to be here for our next workshop.
Okay.
Just email that to Sandra.
Yep.
So that the guys can look at it
Perfect. We
and
can do that.
we'll go into executive session and discuss all this with the county
Yeah.
attorney and try to come up with a consensus on how we move forward.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Yeah,
you very
appreciate
much.
that.
Any other questions, guys?
Not yet.
Not yet. Yeah, I'm sure we need to dig in there. Lisa. All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you
Y'all
again.
have a wonderful day.
You as well. All right, no action taken on item 12, item number 13, workshop discussing water grant criteria. All right, so with that being said, again, as you all very well know, that we received a $10 million grant from the state of Texas concerning water and sewage. I think everybody knows where my heart's set on that, and I just kind of wanted to start the conversation on how that's going to work and go from there. I don't know if you guys have any questions about your precinct's water issues. If any at this point, this grant process has been open as long as I've been county judge to water supply corporations. As far as I know, the only one that's knocked on the door of that is the Harleton Water Supply Company. They've received maybe 2 grants from the Water Development Board, and they've paid all the 10% and whatnot. So I just kind of want to see where you guys are. Check your temperatures per se on that. If you guys got any other wants, needs, desires?
I think that worked really well with allowing him to pay that 10%. And I think that's the fairest way to do that amongst the citizens, that those, it can be charged back into it itself, so.
True. But, and one thing that I brought up the last time we discussed this is, Water Supply Corporation is not a governmental arm of the county of Marion, or is it associated with the county government of Marion. For instance, we have some city council members here today that would love for us to be able to move forward with the development of the property at 220859 for the Brookshire's grocery store. And how we proceed with that at this point, I don't know. I don't know how I would like to proceed with it. Obviously, I can't speak for the city of Jefferson. I'll give you an example. If getting water and sewer to that piece of property is going to cost anywhere from $5 to $10 million, I don't believe that the city of Jefferson has that kind of liquid cash in the bank to be able to write a check to the Water Development Board for the granting purposes. However, Marion County does have that kind of liquid cash in the bank, and something that would benefit all the citizens of Marion County that shop here in the city of Jefferson. You know, I would say at least 80% of the people in the county shop in the Brookshire's in Jefferson, because it's the only grocery store we have. It's the only place that you can walk in and get almost everything. I've met with the Brookshire's guys on a Zoom call and discussed this with them. I'm waiting to hear back from them on the wants, needs, and desires of what they need. The ball's in their court. I told them we got the money. If they got the time, we can try to figure something out. And what that looks like, I don't know yet. You know, if we've got to invest taxpayer money into another governmental entity, obviously the first thing that I always say is show me the money. Well, if there's no money to be shown, how do we pay that 10% to the Water Development Board, number one? Number two, the most important part is how's that money gonna get returned in our general fund, in our savings account? I think there is a lot of scenarios where we could look at that, kind of like this tax abatement. Okay, if the city of Jefferson wants to look at that property and see if they can cull it out and turn it into the city of Jefferson, that's great. That's on their dime. I don't think the city, the county of Marion needs to get involved in that whatsoever. Not even a smidgen. I don't even want to talk about it. However, the only taxes that the city of Jefferson is going to benefit from a new Brookshire's grocery store at the corner of 59 and 2208 is property tax. They will get zero sales tax out of this because we have a county assistance district that forbids any other municipality or governmental entity to reach in and say, okay, I'm sorry that you already had those taxes, but we're going to take them off. But you were here. I think you were the only one, you and I were here and set this up. Were you still, were you here when we did that, the county assistance district? I don't think you were. Kristen Savant, who was our attorney that set that up for us, remember we met with her. It is my understanding that once the county puts that sales tax in place, it cannot be removed. So the only benefit the city of Jefferson is going to have is to place that property in the territorial boundaries of the city of Jefferson and collect a property tax off of it, which, I mean, I'm sure Berkshire wouldn't mind. But if that were the case, you know, we could put some kind of levy on the city to say, okay, you guys are going to collect $40,000 a year in property taxes, or whatever the number is. Well, great, you're going to pay that back to the county in this appropriate amount of time in order for us to receive our investment back, whether it be full or half. I wouldn't mind half. You know, if half we do, you know, whatever half is, and the city do the other half. Interest-free, obviously, because we can't charge a governmental entity any interest, but, I mean, I think that would be the fairest way to do it. If they decide to annex that part of the county. If they don't, no harm, no foul, in my opinion. However, we've got to ask the city of Jefferson to be able to hook up to their water and sewer, and at that point, they would have no monetary investment in that other than for the next however many years, they're going to have to maintain that water and sewer system. And it is my understanding at this point, whatever they're charging the customer, i.e. the County of Marion or John Smith or Jane Doe or whoever, they're not collecting enough money from that system to be able to keep up with the repairs and maintenance of that system currently. Well, now you're talking about putting online something that's ginormous. It's huge. I couldn't even tell you how many square feet the building is, but they're talking about a $15 million investment in the building. And that's a lot of money. That's a lot of tax revenue. Whichever way it goes, I mean, it's a lot of tax revenue for the county, if the city annexes, that's a lot of tax revenue for the city. It's a lot of tax revenue for the state. I mean, there's a lot of players involved in this. So I'm just thinking out loud, guys. I'm asking for your guidance on whether we should or should not ask the city how they want to proceed, whether we should or should not even go that route. Either way, the city's got to be involved if we're going to hook up to their water and sewer. How that happens is, I guess we just need to send a letter to the mayor and the city council. Number one, asking their permission to do such, and omitting them from any of the processes thereof. I mean, we would do this open bid process, whoever bids on it. We don't do no brother-in-law stuff in this court. We don't get, John Doe, whose first cousin owns a big piece of property in Marion County and pays a lot of property. We don't operate that way here. So I'm just looking for your guidance on maybe how we proceed. Or if you have anything to add. I don't know. This is just me again thinking out loud.
I think it's an excellent way to start. We just need to know where they stand, I guess, and see what they're thinking.
Paul, you got anything to add? I know you don't grocery shop.
Personally, if I were Brookshire's, I would not consider building a structure unless it was incorporated and the city was involved.
I wouldn't either.
I just cannot imagine them just building without it not being incorporated.
Yeah, I would definitely want the city to annex the property. I mean, because they're gonna have to maintain those lines, everything, wherever they go. We've heard for 5 years they're gonna go across the bridge, and we've heard they're gonna come 59 to 2208. I think we need to sit down probably with the engineer from Brookshire's and say, what is your best case scenario? And then sit down with somebody from the city of Jefferson and say, what is your best case scenario? And kind of try to merge those. So, I mean, it's kind of like in criminal court. If I've got a prosecutor and the defense, if the prosecutor walks away not happy and the defense walks away not happy, justice was done. It's the same scenario. I mean, you can't make everybody happy all the time. If you do, you're not doing your job.
So do we need to set up another workshop where all entities are invited to?
I would think, and this is just me, if we want to have a discussion of this and include the city of Jefferson, it would be my recommendation that the mayor and city council appoint a third-party person that is not seated on the city council and is obviously not seated on this court to kind of come up with a plan that can be presented to both sides and say, hey, this is what we think should happen, whether it be one person or three. Obviously, it have to be an odd number. Maybe, someone from the city council, or the city council to appoint one individual, the commissioners will appoint one individual. I don't know, and maybe Berkshire's appointing. I don't know how, but I don't think that it would be wise of this court to invite the entire city council into our chambers or us into their chambers and have a big discussion. That's gonna go nowhere. You got way too many personalities, way too many people. I think we need to tone this down into something. Or it may be where the city appoints two people and the commissioner's court appoints one. To bring ideas, to try to figure this out. Again, Berkshire's been waiting 5 years. I don't know how much longer they're gonna wait. I think we need to jump on this as fast as we can. And, and I don't think at this point, Berkshire's just trying to finish their newest store in Longview, their new fresh. They're trying to get it open before Thanksgiving. I think that's where all of their focus is right now. But I have a sneaky feeling once that store gets open and it's operational, they're gonna come knocking on the door and they're gonna say, so what are we gonna do? Where you at? And for 5 years, they've been told, I don't know. We don't know where to move. We don't know where to go. So again, I'm looking for y'all's guidance on this. I like the maybe the city council has two people that are independent, appointed as advisors to the city council, and somebody from this court, whoever that may be, whose precinct is that? That's your precinct. I bet you start shopping for groceries. I don't know. Again, I'm looking for y'all's guidance. We have to sing from the same song, and we work well enough together that we can do that. But it's no secret throughout anywhere in this county, the city council of Jefferson does not work well together. It is what it is. And I think that an independent person or two people from the city council working on this project to go back and update them on the decisions that are made, either between this court and the city, or between this committee and both entities.
Commissioner Pastor, you
I
were.
was just gonna say, I think one thing I think would be beneficial is to have someone from the city that, a hands-on person, represent the water and sewer in that area. That could be one thing, and then,
Just an independent person,
well, someone.
or a city councilman.
Like who's over the water and sewer.
Okay.
That knows what the cost of the budget costs and
What's it gonna take?
what he has to, what he's looking at. And that was an engineer.
And with the engineer, I think the best case scenario is just to use Berkshire's guys. They know what they need. You know, I don't think we need to hire an independent engineer to say, this is what I think they're gonna need, for their engineer to turn around and say, well, no, that's not what we need, this is what we need. So here we're paying a bunch of money to a guy that's just making money.
Well, if we're in a position with that grant that this can happen, it's just agreeing what's gonna be best for the whole county.
Sure. I mean, it's here.
Yeah. So, do we send a letter to the city, in writing? Do we set up another workshop?
I would say we would set up a workshop with an action. Right now, this is just a discussion.
Let's do that.
And I said, we're gonna keep this on our agenda until we get this thing figured out.
Yeah, let's do that, then let's set up another workshop with an agenda, where we
With
can
an
action item and see if we can't get those people that need to be there involved.
So we'll set up a workshop with an action item stating we would like one or two individuals from your governmental entity to represent the interests of the city of Jefferson to the Marion County Commissioner Court. However, they're gonna have to have full authority there, the city council, because I don't wanna sit here and waste your time, their time, or my time with somebody who's just slinging sand.
Yes, Judge, I was just asking you, wonder if I like the idea of narrowing it down, obviously, that you, instead of an outside source, that we would have to educate, train, and still couldn't answer a lot of the questions you may come up, is that we just pick from the city council two of the best people that could represent our water and sewer issues involved in this, and do whoever you do, and let them sit down and see if they can work together. For us to come up with an independent and try to get them educated on all of the issues some of us, we don't even know on the council, and then present it and answer to you would be difficult.
Okay. I have no issue with that. Again, it's not an action item, so we can't take action on it. I think that's a great idea. Kind of like what Commissioner Patterson said, put somebody on there that knows the water and sewer issues and how that goes about. The issue that I'm having is having someone that sits on the city council, to sit on this committee that has any authority. You guys have a really big problem with making decisions. And we gotta be able to move forward on this and not just let it blow. So you guys meet once a month, that's another problem. We've gotta move on this pretty quick. As I stated, when Berkshire gets done with that new store in Longview, they're gonna be ready to jump on it. I said, that's my opinion. They may have another project in place, but this has been sitting on the back burner so long that, they're gonna wanna move.
I think if in your letter you spell that out, of course, the city council could make is whoever we appoint, we could give them the authority to negotiate this without a monthly meeting update at all times. And then, and we move forward and see if our city council can agree on that. And then we agree, just spell that out in your letter.
Okay.
About the need of urgency of multiple meetings without having to wait for a monthly approval on our end.
Okay.
And can you give the person you assign to this committee the authority to make those decisions?
Okay. So, and with that being said, the second option in my mind that I see is that we send a letter to the city of Jefferson stating, okay, we've got this grant, we plan on moving forward, we want your involvement, however, if you don't want to be involved, we just need permission from you to do this. You're not liable for anything, this is all the commissioner's court, if something goes awry, we'll be over it, whatever that case may look like. So I think the best case scenario is that we try to work with the city first. If we get nowhere, then we ask for a letter releasing them from liability. We need to hook up to your water and sewer so that we can move this project forward. But I think it would behoove all people if we start, or if we try to work with the city first. So we'll put that on. Absolutely.
We can.
Yeah.
We are.
We will. We shall. Mr. Shaw knows that shall word, it means a lot different than may. We shall. So I think moving forward, we'll put this on our next, Commissioner Court meeting. It's an action item so that you guys we can nail it down. Again, I'm gonna get the county attorney involved in that, so that we can decide on the who, what's, when's, where's, and whys. And, I look forward to this project. However, it is 10, Mr. Shaw's waiting on me to go to a hearing. And I don't want to spill the beans completely because this is very new and exciting. Mr. Haggard texted me the other day and I kind of texted him about another project that's coming up. I have been in discussion with a company. I'll just say this, I'll be as blunt as brief as possible because this isn't on the agenda at all. I don't want your input, I'm not asking questions. I am in discussions with a company who wants to put a hospital within the territorial boundaries of the city of Jefferson, a full service hospital. ER, mental health, doctors, nurses, facility, the whole rig up. You will hear more about that at our next Marion County Commissioners Court meeting. With that being said, do you guys have any questions about water grant?
Talking about the grant and the other entities, the rural, what do they need to do to get on board?
So I think the first thing that we will do with this is see how much this thing's gonna cost with brochures. The last number that I saw was a little over $5 million, and that was about 4 years ago. So I don't even know if we're gonna have the money to do this at this point, or how we're gonna move forward with this until we get some solid numbers in front of us. However, that being said, let's say it only costs 6 and we've got 4 left. You know, if we've got money left over, I would love for water supply corporations throughout the county to want to get some of this money. Historically, we have allowed that as long as that water supply corporation funds their 10% match. We've never funded that before, and I don't want us to get into the water supply business. We don't supply water to nobody, and I don't want to start. So if we have any money left over, to answer your question, if we have any money left over, and we have a water supply corporation that needs help through this grant, I would just have them submit an application of some sort. I'll start researching the applications on that, and as long as they can come up with their 10%, I'm game. And because this was specifically earmarked for Marion County, there's a reason it was given to this court, and I want to make sure that we maintain that decorum with this court. I know you guys are precinct level elections. I want to make sure that we're looking at the entirety of Marion and how many people this would impact. Does that answer your question? Good. All right, with that being said.
Motion to adjourn.
So,
Motion to adjourn by Commissioner Ashley, second by Commissioner Patterson, all in favor? Anyone opposed? Motion carries, we are adjourned, thank you, ladies and gentlemen.